Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose. And, the entire Activision Blizzard acquisition has kind of been... It's been strange. Microsoft first announced this buyout back in 2022, and it took them nearly 2 years to get it through regulations. We covered that in great length on the channel. It was this entire mess, and regulators really just kind of overstepped their bounds in a lot of ways. But throughout that entire fiasco, the consistent promise that Microsoft made is how it would benefit gamers, especially over on Xbox. The only thing about that, though, is that we really haven't seen those benefits quite yet. And in fact, I'd even say for the most part, Xbox gamers have gotten bad news since that acquisition. So it's definitely been a weird rollout for them. Xbox gamers have had to be very patient. But the good news here is that starting today, that seemingly will slowly change because we got some new information that will majorly impact the Xbox brand, and this will give Xbox fans something to look forward to. So we will get into all of that here in just a second, but do make sure to stay tuned for some bizarre Nintendo news and an update for GTA 6. Yep, we got an official update for that game as well. I know there's a lot of anticipation for GTA 6, and that's probably a little bit of an understatement here, but let's just go and jump right into this. So what's happening here is that the Wall Street Journal broke some major news this morning when they posted this article titled, "Microsoft Plans Boldest Games Bet Since Activision Deal, Changing How Call of Duty is Sold." Yep, there it is. In this article, they explained that the next Call of Duty will indeed come over to Xbox Game Pass day number 1. That is a massive, massive inclusion. This really has been the million-dollar question over the last few months. Clearly, Microsoft is making some big changes with Xbox. This is no longer the Phil Spencer show, as I've continually reiterated. Now, I'm sure that he still has some input, but it really is Amy Hood and Satya Nadella that are now calling the shots for Team Xbox as they want a return on investment for their nearly $70 billion acquisition. And as a bit of a side effect to that, this has caused some concern for Xbox Game Pass as well. What exactly is the future for Game Pass, and will Call of Duty be a part of that future plan? These are questions that gamers are currently asking. And to be fair here, that question isn't completely unmerited. Let's be honest about things. This is a risk for Microsoft. They paid a lot of money to get Call of Duty under their umbrella, and this is a series that's guaranteed to sell millions upon millions upon millions of copies every single year. So by putting it in the Game Pass day 1, yes, that will lower its overall sales numbers. And that's why there's been reports that there has been an internal debate within Microsoft over its day 1 inclusion. This all seems very logical when you start to think about it. But in this case, it sounds like Team Xbox won out. Call of Duty will be included day 1 as they wanted. But at the same time, I also wouldn't be surprised if there's some changes alongside its announcement to lower its risk. Now, I kind of alluded to this yesterday, but I read every single comment that you all make, and I see certain people get frustrated because one day I might praise their favorite brand, and then the next day I might, criticize that same brand. Like, if you just want me to come in here and ignore my own logic to prop up one brand or to attack another, all for the sake of console wars, that's just not who I am. I use my own logic when I talk about things, and at the end of the day, when I look at this individual situation, it's great news, and potentially this could be huge for the Xbox brand. That cannot be understated. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of change because of its inclusion. In fact, we're already hearing about those rumors, and I want to bring this up just so you all can kind of be prepared if it actually happens. Multiple insiders today have come out and they've stated that there will be changes for Xbox Game Pass in 2024. Now, just to kind of speculate here, the 3 things that we could be looking at is maybe another price hike. That seems highly likely. There could also be a new tier, or maybe even possibly changes to the current tiers as they currently are. Maybe even possibly a combination of all 3 of these things. What I will say about all of this, though, is that if these rumors are actually true, if there is indeed some kind of change for Xbox Game Pass, which again, I would not be surprised at all, but regardless of what changes they make, I feel like it would be fairly difficult to undermine just how much extra value these acquisitions will make in the coming years. Maybe I'm wrong about all of that. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of changes they make if they actually do. But again, I bring all this up so you're kind of prepared for whatever announcement they do make, if there is indeed any kind of changes to Xbox Game Pass as it's currently being claimed. Despite all that, though, going back to Call of Duty's Day 1 inclusion, this could potentially be the pivotal moment for Game Pass. There's been a lot of discussion about its stagnant growth over the last few years, and Call of Duty could potentially change that for them in a major way. Call of Duty, is just such a massive series, and depending on how they sell it in Game Pass, they could see a pretty significant spike in Game Pass subscriptions this holiday. If so, that would be huge news for its future, and I'd say really for all these other acquisitions as well, just because they will feed each other, or at least to some degree, through Game Pass. I want to hear your all's thoughts about all of this, though. This really is kind of a multifaceted topic, so, first off, I want to hear, are you excited about Call of Duty's Day 1 inclusion? And also, do you believe what these rumors are currently claiming? Do you expect some kind of Game Pass change in the near future? And if so, what exactly are you expecting? Okay, so let's go talk about Nintendo, though, because this is one of the more bizarre decisions that we've recently seen. So over the last few weeks, there's been multiple retailers that's canceled their physical Paper Mario pre-orders. Over on Amazon, you can't get it there, which, to be fair, I feel like Amazon is actually one of the worst places that you can buy your games. It really just kind of feels like you're playing a lottery by this point, or at least where I live. If you want your games and cases undamaged, good luck. But now Walmart has also canceled their pre-orders as well. You can see here posted up by Wario. He said, not sure if this is widespread, but it looks like Walmart will only sell Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door in stores, seemingly a Nintendo directive. Online orders are getting canceled, and it looks like they are offering $25 off a future order as an apology. Now, what's really kind of interesting about this is that it's Nintendo that's making this decision. It's not like Walmart, sold too many pre-orders or something like that. But instead, what's happening here is that this is a decision that was made by Nintendo themselves. So it's kind of like Nintendo saying, hey, no, we don't want your money. We're going to cancel that. Now, apparently, you can still go out and you can go to your local Walmart and buy it that way. But what exactly is the logic behind this decision? Why are they making it more difficult for consumers to buy their games? And I've seen a lot of guesses as to why they're doing this, but the only one that kind of makes sense to me is that they're trying to maybe fight pre-release piracy. It's no secret that Nintendo has had a problem throughout this generation where their games have leaked early, and then those games appear on different pirate websites. It was revealed through the Nintendo vs. Yuzu case that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was actually downloaded more than 1 million times illegally before it even released. So maybe Nintendo's narrowing down the source of that problem. Maybe they believe it's Amazon or Walmart that's causing these different leaks. It's not like they canceled online pre-orders everywhere. So far you can still get it on Best Buy, you can get it on GameStop, or even at Target. And even more so is that this is not exclusive to just Paper Mario. You also can't get Luigi's Mansion 2 on Amazon. Then the recently announced Nintendo World Championship, it's not available on Walmart or Amazon either. So it does seem like Nintendo is avoiding both of those companies for multiple pre-orders. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they're available after they release, and I'll also be interested to see if Paper Mario leaks out early, like pretty much almost every other Nintendo Switch game has before them. That will be very telling for this situation, but definitely a peculiar decision for the time being. Now, as for GTA 6, though, this will legitimately be the biggest game release for this entire generation. We've all seen the constant success of GTA 5. I actually don't know how they continuously sell as well as it does, but whatever the case may be, obviously there's a lot of anticipation for its long-awaited successor. And check this out. Take-Two just announced its expected release window during their earnings report. They said, as we enter fiscal 2025 with positive momentum, we expect to deliver net bookings of $5.55 to $5.65 billion. Our outlook reflects a narrowing of Rockstar Games' previously established window of calendar 2025 to fall of calendar 2025 for Grand Theft Auto 6. We are highly confident that Rockstar Games will deliver an unparalleled entertainment experience, and our expectations for the commercial impact of the title continues to increase. So there it is. They are supposedly confident in a fall 2025 release, which means that we are looking at late 2025. Now, a lot of people are kind of hoping that it would be early in the year, but by releasing it late in the year, that's going to drive a lot of momentum, as you'd expect for the holiday period. A lot of these bigger games likes to release during that holiday period because that's when a lot of people are buying games and consoles. And this will without a doubt be the most wish-listed game for next year. And it's also going to drive an insane amount of consumers to the store. And more importantly, this is also going to inject a lot of interest in these next generation consoles. I thought this was actually really fascinating, but it was just revealed a few days ago that half of PlayStation's current user base still plays on a PlayStation 4. I mean, that's actually crazy to think about. I know somebody in the comments the other day pointed out to me that one of the reasons they believe the new Final Fantasy games might not be selling quite as well as Remake is because they're not available on the PlayStation 4. And that was actually a great point made, kudos to you, but especially now that we have this new information here, it's clear that PlayStation and Xbox needs to do a lot more to convert these gamers that are still on last generation consoles. And I mean, if there's any game that can do that, that's going to be Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, I expect if GTA 6 launches next holiday as planned, there will be a massive influx of consoles sold alongside it, considering it is a next generation only game. So yeah, fun times ahead. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode, but do let me hear your thoughts about these topics in the comments below. Enjoy your weekend, though, and until next time, peace out.